What the hell was that, New Jersey? And by that, I mean the season. And then also the finale. We waited for that? This is what's been hyped up? Okay. Well, this show needs a franchise. The franchise needs a pause. It needs a pause. It needs a reset. It needs... But keep your eyes on Louie, though. Wow. Please, keep cameras on Louie. Just put like a surveillance camera on Louie. Just like he clearly is doing to the rest of the cast, apparently. What the fuck? Okay? Jesus. Yeah, I'm just gonna get into this hate recap. This is such a delayed recap, but let's just get into it. Here at She Speaks Bravo, we believe that Bravo TV is a great form of self-care and therapy. I mean, look at me. I've been using it for over a decade, and I'm a complete mess.
What is this, honey?
I love that.
I'm Emily. Every week, I recap the latest episodes of your favorite Bravo shows, from Housewives to Vanderpump Rules.
We need to get more cosmopolitan. Hot teeny.
So if you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. All right, let me first address why I am covered. My face is covered. I got another chemical peel. Totally forgot that because you need to get at least 2. Totally forgot I had booked the appointment when I went to the first appointment. And then they called me the day before to be like, just confirming your appointment for tomorrow. And they charge if you don't cancel within 24 hours. And it was on Vanderpump Rules Day, not the day it airs, but the day that I record and edit and try to post. So I was like, sure, I can do that. So I snuck that in. And I'm in the middle of peeling like you wouldn't believe, but it's so satisfying. But it's a lot. Like I can't cover it up at all. So I just decided to throw a mask on so I didn't have to be all far away from the camera and dark like I did last time if you were around for the first chemical peel. But I feel like this one's going to really show me some results, okay? And I'm going to definitely get the third one. They recommend 3. Now I see why, if you've ever met a celebrity in real life, a reality star or whatever, they're glowing. They're just like a glow. It's because they're just getting this shit done all the time. It's like baby skin. That's why we could never keep up with them. You know, if someone out there wants to start doing this to me for free, totally. Well, if you know what you're doing. But yeah, Anywho, let's get into this hate recap because I'm going to start off right off the top. The budget for Jersey has been nothing for a long time, but it was even more apparent with the way they do. So let's remember back to Salt Lake City. Remember how many like cool editing things they did with Salt Lake City? When something happened, they do a cold open where they show you, in this case for Jersey, 12 hours after Dolores's Irish Prohibition party. And they do the like flashback, flash forward stuff. You know, this is how they're doing it. It is so cheap looking. Like, it looks like I could do that on my video shop editor on my phone. As opposed to where like Salt Lake City does it. I don't know how they even do shit like that, but it looks like something I could not afford to do myself. But not with Jersey. There was this was like, God, Nene was still on Atlanta. But they showed a side-by-side of the Atlanta cast photo and the Jersey cast photo. And Dina commented. She wasn't on Jersey at the time. But Dina commented and was like, wow, the difference in budget is so clear. She's never been more right. They just don't have it. This is probably also why they haven't gotten any new cast members. Because honestly, like, they don't have any money. There's like, are they using Video Shop to edit this shit? It was so cheap. So that's my first gripe. Okay. Especially when we've seen such a like, think of Beverly Hills. Think of Atlanta. Think of any other show. All right. So then Dolores calls Melissa, and Melissa says that she's been keeping the secret together, or keeping the secret for herself to keep the family together. So this is addressing the thing that we've been saying. Like, you already knew about this rumor. Teresa and Louie already talked to Joe about this, which is sort of why it was confusing, where they were acting like they didn't know. But now we're getting more context. Okay. 12 hours earlier, or Paul's house for this setup. And it is just still very weird to me that Dolores does live here. But he's like, this is her best life. She's not running around. She's not having to get ugly. She's just cute. She shows up looking hot. Okay? Because he's handling all the party stuff. But holy shit, the wigs on those Irish dancers. Oh my God. They were no joke. So Dolores just has to show up. She just gives body yaddy, 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 yaddy. Okay? She looks amazing. Marge is giving Dorinda head wrap crimped hair mistake. That's the vibe I'm getting from her. Melissa looks hot in her blush pink look, but she's like, this is my era. I feel like I am 20s. I'm like, your makeup isn't 20s. Like, you're not 20. This is not your era, girl. No. Dude, there's a little shot of Frank Sr. dancing next to the Irish dancers. He looks like a leprechaun. He looks like a leprechaun. Anyway, the women and Margaret complain. They're talking about, oh, Danielle, is she coming? Oh, she's always crying. She's always crying, that one. She's always crying. I can't stand it. Oh, this mask is going to drive me nuts. If you're just listening and you're not watching on video, I have an actual like old school face mask, like the cloth ones that I found and had to clean off so I could wear. And I keep sucking it in. It's that or no video at all. It was interesting how Bill and Polly immediately talked to Joe about how he should talk to Teresa. It's now we know that like Joe's been holding this whole thing in, that that he thinks that Teresa was the one trying to take him down. This is all right. We're going to get further into that. I'm already annoyed because they're all so stupid. I know I sound really harsh, but like this, you all sound really stupid. Rachel and Melissa asked Danielle, they're like, what was wrong with you? What was wrong with you at the shower and in Ireland? And it goes on and on about the same shit. It's like, what are you trying to pull out of her? But they insist something was off in Ireland. And now we're at, why is Danielle acting like she has to tell Melissa? I'm still really confused by this. It's like, why the fuck do you feel so torn? You who begged Jennifer to tell you, and then now you're so, I guess I gotta tell her. I mean, I would want to know. I would want to know. And I guess she's thinking at home, I'm trying to put myself in her position. She's thinking when this airs, she's going to know that I know. And she's going to, bitch, you could have texted her. You could, so did you, what the fuck? I don't, it doesn't track that Teresa would want Danielle to do this. It does not track to me at all. It doesn't. Like, I know people are like, she put him up to it. No, she wouldn't. Why would she want that to happen? She's about to get married. Why would she want Danielle to confront Melissa at this party right before her wedding so that she could get blamed for it? Because she knows she's gonna. Because she already got blamed for it when Louie went over there. So I'm just confused. This storyline, what? Oh, so I'm like, I'm so irritated at this point. Danielle's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm like, do nothing, you idiot. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You could have texted her 100 times off camera. So now you want to do it at the finale party? This is where I gotta tell her? You are so thinly veiled in your motivation here, and that's for TV time. Okay? Do better. Do so much better. Honestly. Okay, keeping it moving. Teresa and Louie arrive. I know Louie's eyes are always a little freaky, but now they're extra freaky. And in the after show, Melissa talks about how, because I'd never seen Louie smoke, and Melissa talks about how all the guys were commenting on Louie just being off, like chain smoking cigarettes. And he was like, the way he was like, I don't care. I'm winning. See this, I'm winning. If you saw Dirty John, and you know the story of Dirty John, which is a real story, that's just the seeing Dirty John, the fictional story it's based on a real story. He was hiding an addiction to drugs. And so I'm like, is Louie just popping Adderalls and speed type of pills and stuff? I don't take him for a drug user, but I don't put anything past him. This man has convinced this woman not to sign a prenup. That's because he knows we, the ones who love her, are worried about that. You would think, to ease all of our worries and to prove he's not after her money, he would say, no, let's sign a prenup. I want to prove to everybody that's not what I'm here for. But instead he doesn't. He lets her say it's just not romantic. I didn't like it when Joe made me do it. And he lets Gia say, yeah, I didn't like it. And no. You're the adult. You're the man. You're coming into this platform. I don't like it. So something's off with him walking in, and I'm not pretending like I don't see it. Frank and Joe have clocked Louie being cold. And Louie goes over to Bill. You would think that her own brother would be there for his own sister. So right off the top, he's coming in and he's planting these seeds, and he's making sure that everybody hates Joe. That's his intention, right? Teresa doesn't want it. She's like, I'm happy. We're in our love bubble. And Louie goes, you're not happy when it comes to being around your brother. She's like, I'm happy. And Louie goes, you're happy here, right here. Okay, dude. Like, okay. Too much. And then Jen sees how it's getting weird, and she goes, we're happy for you. We're your chosen family. All right. This isn't... What the fuck is he doing? This isn't protecting her anymore. This is making her life harder. This is really making her life harder. So Danielle pulls Jen aside to tell her that she's gonna tell Melissa. Jen keeps going, and you know I like Jen. She goes, I don't want to be that girl to another family like Marge was to me. I go, girl, you already did it. You already did it. You talked about it on camera multiple times. You've already done it. You've already been that girl. What difference? You are that girl. Okay? Now, Danielle tries to walk us through her logic. Okay, so I don't get it. Okay? She's like, I want to say before Laura revs up more, like if this is how she is now, how is she going to be later? Huh? Let us cross that, because Laura is Margaret's friend. Okay? If Laura keeps going, it will look bad for Margaret, not for you. Like, this is Melissa's chosen friend. What are you guys not getting? You're going to look like the bad guys if you try to make Margaret look bad. These people don't know how to play this game because they're too stupid. Jen pretends to stop Danielle though. She's like, I don't think you should, because Teresa is always going to get the blame for it. I don't think you should, but then very quickly agrees. As long as Danielle says it came from Laura, who heard it from Marge. I just don't understand why Danielle is so upset about Marge. I mean, I guess I get Marge is coming for her hardcore, and she feels like she's the one who was just repeating things. But it's like she's so passionate about it, and it definitely doesn't it doesn't make sense coming from her. Where's she been? She hasn't been around. It's like, why are you upset? Like, you literally haven't. been affected enough to really need to out her. So whatever. See, this is so stupid. Then Danielle talks to Melissa. And in her dumbass confessional, she goes, in my mind, I'm going to tell her and she's going to be like, oh my God, that's not true. But thank you for telling me. Actually, let's do a shot at the bar. Why would she say that? If you think it's such a big deal that this is being said about her, why would she then not have a big reaction to it? If you think it's a big deal, you know, she's going to have a big reaction to it because you think it's a big enough deal to fucking tell her. Huh? So Danielle reveals it and Melissa's eyes change. Like, I've never seen Melissa's eyes get like this. And she goes, if we're going to be really honest, let's be really honest. I already heard this story. And you know how I heard it? Because his sister called him over to his house secretly without me to tell him the story behind my back. Now, Teresa has confirmed multiple times on Watch What Happens Live, whatever. Louie did this. She did not want Louie to do this, but Louie decided to contact Joe, not Melissa, but Joe, just Joe, to say, this is what's being said. That was not the move. That's a shady thing to do. You call them both and say, I got to talk to you guys. This is what's being said from Margaret's friend. And I really hope it doesn't come out on the show, just like my video came out on the show. She tends to like to do shit like this. No, you call just Joe? So Melissa's like, let's call Teresa over here. And Danielle's like, well, I'm sure she didn't want that to be true. I mean, why would she want that to be true? And Melissa's like, are you kidding? And honestly, I don't think Teresa's ever really trusted Melissa. Or has she? Because, you know, she said the stories about how she's a gold digger. And she, you know, Melissa said something like, I'm not stupid like my sisters. I married for money or something like that. So I don't really know if Teresa's ever thought that Melissa had good intentions. And I also know that there have been rumors about Melissa with her ex before they've come up, you know, meeting your ex in the parking lot or just stuff like that. So Danielle's like, we are going off course here. This is supposed to be about Margaret, but she doesn't get what she's doing. So she tries to bring it back around. She's like, why is everyone going after the messenger? Margaret is the one who said it. And of course, Margaret comes over and it doesn't really look right having Margaret be so upset at Danielle. She's like, you're a stupid little shit starter. And then Danielle's putting her finger in her face. Why don't I like this? I should enjoy this fight. I should enjoy this housewives moment. But instead I'm like, oh, this is annoying. I don't care. Like, you look dumb, Danielle. You look dumb, Margaret. This was so stupid. Danielle's putting her finger. She's like, don't you put your finger in my face. Marge calls her a low budget Betty. Danielle's like losing it though. She's like, it's your drama. Everything is coming for you. Don't shoot the messenger. Marge says, you're a disgusting little wannabe. And then Danielle's unhinged. And it's just confusing. I wish I could like this. But I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Did the producers just dial it in? Because the producers probably can't make anything happen. They probably can't guide story because the cast is so stuck in their ways and they hate each other. And so they just give up. They're like, let Danielle do whatever. I don't know. They have no control over this cast. There's no way for them to tell a story. I'm left out. I don't get why Danielle's so upset. Melissa calls Jen and Teresa, because everyone now comes over because it's a huge spectacle. And Melissa calls Jen. She's like, you guys are losers. Losers. Teresa goes, did you just call us losers? Melissa's like, you're a loser who called my husband over to tell him that I was in a car. Teresa goes, the look at you. Look at you. Disgusting. What happened, Teresa? You called my husband over all by himself? Again, this should be fun. It should be fun. But instead it's not. Instead it's not, because then we get this creepy guy Louie over here. And Teresa's just walking away. She won't even address it. She won't even talk to her. Which to me is really annoying and obnoxious, because I'm like, so you don't even want to talk to her? What is happening? You guys are so dumb. Everyone is so dumb. Melissa, you're dumb. Teresa, you're dumb. And then now here's Louie with his eyes all bugged out of his head. As in Louie finds out that Melissa called him a loser, and he's like, I'm a winner, smoking cigarettes. Oh, crazy. Joe then tells the story. And he's like, I said, you got the wrong girl. That's TBD. They were not in a good place for a long time. I still don't really feel like they're in a great place. I still feel like Joe does not get what Melissa needs and whatever, but they also did a very staged dinner with Marge and that guy that was rumored to have been kissing, Nick Barada. Hottie. But Marge says this was all Teresa's plan. She's like, that. And then she goes, that's why Teresa was late tonight. I'm like, I beg to differ. Teresa's always late. She's late all the time. So that doesn't count. Now Danielle is screaming, why does everything get deflected off for this woman? And so Jen about Laura, she goes, oh, she sung like a bird, Margaret. You don't know how to own your shit. You talk about Melissa. You talk about my husband's infidelity. And at this point, I knew as soon as these words came out of Jen's mouth, I was like, oh, Marge is going to fucking attack her ass so bad. And she did. Marge is like, you're on a revenge tour. You're upset about last year. Jen says, my daughter wants to be a fucking therapist. And Marge says, because Bill slept with a subordinate. And she knew that. A subordinate? Who says that? Who says that word? Jen, I've never seen her lose it like this. I've never seen anything like this. And they didn't show it well. Like, was it me or was this captured horribly? All of a sudden, it's like this weird camera angling and I couldn't really tell. And she's like, she threw herself at my husband. It was glorious. It was a beautiful moment. But then the next thing I know, she's like halfway down the stairs with Bill. What are you guys doing on this show? Do you want us not to understand what's going on? Do you want us not to get full context? I swear on my life. I can't. I just can't. I was surprised. Bill actually was sweet, pulled her out and said, I'm sorry for putting you in that situation. So that is good that he realizes like, it's like this for her, dude. It's like this. Melissa yells over to Danielle, great party move, Danielle, great party move. And Danielle, Margaret said it to Laura, and I found out in Ireland. And Melissa and Joe mock Danielle. Don't lose any sleep over it, Danielle. Like, it's so fucking funny. No big fucking deal. Here's what I don't know. Did Teresa not tell Jen that Louie already told Joe about this? Huh? So no one communicated that? You didn't go tell your friend Jen, look, we already talked to Joe. Joe doesn't believe it, so we're leaving it there. Huh? No? You let this whole thing play out where Jen's like, we're keeping this secret. Melissa doesn't know. Meanwhile, Teresa knows she knows? Huh? Do you see how stupid this is? Oh my God. Melissa then says Louie called her husband, and then Louie tweaking out, chimes in out of nowhere. He goes, I called Joe a lot of things. And now he looks, his eyes are bugging out of his head. It's like he's on a different planet. Louie clarifies that Teresa was not a part of it. And that, quote, Bo Deedle knows everything about everybody in this room. And I'm all, who's Bo Deedle? I mean, now you got Nate holding Louie back. And he keeps coming. But it looks like he's coming for Melissa. And Melissa's like, why are your eyes looking like that? You look. And then Louie goes, there's nothing wrong with me, sweetheart. And Melissa goes, I'm the one getting all the shit, thank you very much. And we just hear Louie go, you're welcome. It's like he's so unhinged. Now Joe gets up, obviously, and he's like, don't you talk to my wife like that. And so it's this, everyone knows in Jersey, once this starts happening, separate. Immediately separate. Don't even think about it. Just fucking separate. God. Now, but then Louie goes downstairs And he goes to Teresa and he's like, Melissa and Joe just tried to fight me. I don't think that's what happened. Teresa's like, I didn't want to get involved because I always get to blame. So first Louie forces her to be involved even though she doesn't want to be because he goes and talks to Joe and she's like, I didn't want you to, but there you go. So that happens, okay? Now, did she tell Jen to keep this secret? She didn't say that they talked to Joe, but then Jen's going to hold on to it. Jen, of all people, is going to hold on to it and not tell Danielle. Teresa admits that she knew that Jen told Danielle. At no point were you like, guys, don't worry. They already know about it. Like, at no point you didn't say that to anybody? So now Margaret, who has honestly every right to be irritated at Danielle, in my opinion, honestly, because it's like, what the fuck? She's like, you did this. And Danielle does this weird, you can kiss my ass thing, which I'm telling you, you wanted it to be a moment. What have I said? You can't create a moment. We decide as the audience what the moments are. Okay? You don't get to. And you just tried and it didn't work. And you look like a fool. Okay? An absolute fool. So knock it off. All right? Then Marge has the nerve to be like, you're going to break up a family. Marge, okay. Come on now. Did you just say that? Did you just say that? Did you just say you're gonna, okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Marge goes, there's a reason your brother doesn't talk to you. Jesus Christ. This woman doesn't care. She'll say anything. She's upset because Bill slept with a subordinate about Jen's daughter. And then now this. Yeah, she doesn't give a shit. Party's over. People are leaving. Danielle says that went exactly according to plan. I don't know if there was actually a plan, but someone's going to harp on that and pull that. You know they are. Marge is going to be like, what does she mean by that? And it's going to be like, Teresa planned it. Marge, she doesn't care whose life she ruins. Is that about Danielle? Actually, I don't remember. I just wrote that quote because it's just ironic when she says stuff like that. I'm like, Marge, that's you. That's you. Oh, God, is this episode over yet? Next day, Jen goes to Teresa's and Dolores calls Melissa. Melissa's like, this is why Joe's been like this. And then here's Joe's confessional. Louie was saying that there's multiple men and that Gia called him up and says that you can do better. Mommy thinks so. We all do. What? I don't really picture that happening. Also, I think Gia has pretty much debunked that because Joe's already lied once. He's already lied saying that Dina's husband called him about Louie. Like, straight up lied. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was lying now. And again, Louie comes to Joe with this, and it's from Margaret's friend. And let's give Louie the benefit of the doubt and say that he really is just trying to get ahead, like help Joe. Like, you know, like for me, when we started filming, the video happened. Well, to be fair, the video happened like as cameras went up, but that might have also been convenient timing. But if Louie did really just go over there to be like, I just want you to get ahead of it so it doesn't just surprise you for filming, whatever. Wouldn't it be like, wow, so who'd you hear this from? Laura, Margaret's friend? Wow. Somehow it's still Teresa's fault. That's crazy to me. That's nuts. How? How? Is it because, they're blaming it because Teresa went to see Laura. It's like they just wanted to take Margaret down. You know, there's an element of that. And I like that Jen she doesn't even try to hide it. She's like, yeah, if a friend of your enemies, essentially, they want to tell you some dirt, you take the opportunity. I don't really blame her. But and Joe's version of events sounds so extremely different than what Louie's is. But then I'm like, I don't care who I believe anymore. I don't trust Louie whatsoever. So Melissa's like, we're not going to the wedding. Dolores then goes over to Teresa's, and Dolores relays the message that Melissa thinks Teresa was behind it coming out at the party. Well, Louie joins right in and says that he was the one who called Joe. He's like taking all the credit, or all the blame, rather. To say get ahead of it, you know, because your brother doesn't deserve to have something blow up in his face. Then Louie drops the bomb that Bo Deedle, the private investigator, is bringing him information on everyone in the group. What the fuck? So, yeah, we're not trusting Louie whatsoever. Paranoid con men do that. Long con people have private investigators who look into people. I'm really fucking scared. He's going to take her for all she's worth. Honestly. And she's believing everything he says. Nothing's wrong with Louie. Are you looking at the guy? He's got a fucking private investigator. Teresa's like, I don't know anything. No, I don't know anything. And she's pretty good at staying blind to things, like in the bankruptcy fraud. Now she's going to be blind to this. This is like this misogynistic, just trust a man type of shit. And no. We are not trusting him. Okay? At least I'm not. All right? And why doesn't Dolores say, what the fuck are you talking about? Dolores just like, I don't know why he'd have a private investigator. Dolores, why are they it's exhausting. The protecting, the lack of following through with things that are like, that's the story. Why are we not? Who the fuck is Bo Deedle? And why do you have a private investigator? So Dolores tells them that Melissa said they're not going to the wedding. And Teresa goes, they hate us. They hate us. And then Jen goes, you think they hate you? Jen? Jen, what are you doing? She's like, I have to do this when the cameras are on. I have to really make it seem like they don't also hate them. Like, you guys hate them too. You hate them. And Teresa goes, Melissa got her wish to get my brother away from me. Oh my God. So we're really right back to square one. We're literally right back there. Okay, I did it. I gave you guys a Jersey recap. I don't even want to do the fucking reunion. I honestly might just wait till all 3 parts air and do all 3 as one. This is torture. This is fucking torture. You can't cancel the franchise because that's too much, because I really do think we need eyes on Louie at all times, because I'm truly scared. He is a true crime documentary. And Teresa's not going to see it. So yeah, I'm scared. I'm nervous, but okay. I got nothing else. I really hate, I don't want to talk about Jersey anymore. I did my best. I said I'd do it. Here it is. But like I said, I'm just going to wait till all 3 parts of the reunion air, and I'm going to talk about all 3 parts as one, because I can't do it. It's my mental health cannot handle it. I tapped out last year. I'm tapping out again. My God. I will cover Summer House next week, though. You can count on that. But yeah, Jersey's too much. It's too stupid. It's too fucking stupid. That's why Andy's like, there's just no hope for this family. I'm like, so there's no resolution. Teresa and Melissa don't end up making up. Gets nowhere. We're just going to sit through Teresa yelling and screaming for no reason, because again, there's no resolution. So there's no point. Even if there's big revelations, I can wait to talk about it. There's nothing going to be that serious. Cut to me being like, I lied. Huge revelations. Here I am recapping. But it's too much. I can barely squeeze out an episode from this episode. And it's garbage. It's true garbage. Tell me how you really feel, Emily. Okay. Anyway, sorry guys. Your girl is too busy to be wasting her time with this mess. But I love you. Mean it. And I will do what I promise I will do. And I'm sorry this was late. Apparently apartment hunting in LA is like a nightmare now. Last time I did it was maybe 6 years ago, and it was not like this, where half the listings aren't even real vacancies. You don't find out until you get there. Or when you call, they're like, we don't have a vacancy. And I'm like, well, some person posted about it. So if I do get a call from an apartment, I have to rush over there, and it is nothing like the photos, and it is just so discouraging. On top of that, I have launched my second podcast, She Speaks It All. I'm talking about all the non-Bravo stuff I watch. All the information is on my Instagram right now. And the merch store is going to be dropping this coming Monday, which is tomorrow for me, the 22nd. And I will put all that information here. I will try my best to put it here, but I will definitely be launching it on Instagram. So keep an eye on Instagram for all of those announcements. Okay, fuck Jersey. Love you guys, though. Mean it. Bye. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $ and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at She Speaks Bravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.